As Jalen Brunson airballs a must-needed three-pointer for any type of momentum, the New York Knicks are down 30 points in the third quarter, and I can confidently say that this game is over and that the NBA champions just do not miss. Jason Tatum is looking to be after the MVP award. Jaylen Brown is making statements on the defensive side of the ball, and all in all, the Boston Celtics are dominating their home opener on the ring ceremony night. We got a lot of notes to take on both sides of this, not just for the Celtics, but also the Knicks. Be sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel. We are going to be uploading almost daily now that the NBA season is back, and I could not be more excited to do it even if my voice sounds monotone. Without further ado, let's jump straight into this thing with the Boston Celtics. The first thing I gotta say is they look to be in fantastic shape. I don't just mean conditioning wise, I mean mentally as well. In transition, they looked excellent. They were getting after it like championships should. We see a lot of championship fatigue with most teams. With this team, we don't see that. Many people would tell you that the New York Knicks are a top 10 team in the NBA and a top 3 team in the Eastern Conference. And tonight, the Boston Celtics made them look like the Detroit Pistons. I have to give a lot of credit to Jason Tatum. I know this is only one game, but his decision making looks so selfless, and on offense, he looked insanely dominant. His pull-up three-pointer tonight was literally... I mean, I'm just going to sit here and say this. I felt like the Boston Celtics had their three-point sliders on 100. They just could not miss, which is hilarious when you think about the fact that they did not have Kristaps Porzingis, who's a walking 7-foot three-pointer, and then you have Al Horford, who doesn't play in back-to-backs. Obviously, he did play tonight. But this is going to be an interesting wrinkle as the season progresses. Not that Boston struggles without the likes of KP. Last year, they were 31-6 without KP, and he only played in 7 postseason games as he was injured. But going back to the thought on them not missing, they made 10 three-pointers in the first quarter, just one shy of their franchise record, and then they proceeded to tie their franchise record for threes made in a half at 17, and Jason barely missed the one that would give him 18 to go ahead and smash that record. It sounds really cliche for me to say, but Boston in this game just did all the little things right. They rebounded the ball. Offensive glass, they absolutely dominated the Knicks. Again, at the making of this video, we're not even finished with the fourth quarter, and the Boston Celtics have recorded nearly 10 offensive rebounds through 3 quarters. And we just look at the amount of volume when we're talking about these three-point shots. The Boston Celtics through 3 quarters attempted 45 three-pointers, and they nailed 58% of them, while the New York Knicks attempted 21 and nailed 43% of them, which is still outstanding. It's just the amount of shots they can get and second chance opportunities is remarkable. Their defense is disciplined, it's harsh, which is ironic because that's what Thibs and the New York Knicks' bread and butter are. Clearly, there were some struggles with the New York Knicks offense. We will get to that when we talk about New York. But all in all, guys, I just got to give a ton of love to this Boston Celtics team. Derek White on fire from 3 tonight and just absolutely killing his role of being the glue guy. 24 points tonight from Derek White to go with 4 assists and 3 rebounds through 3 quarters. Jason Tatum is 37 through 3 quarters. Jaylen Brown is 18. Sam Hauser off the bench hits a 3. Xavier Tillman's off the bench looking good on the glass. Funny enough, I'm sure we're going to see Jordan Walsh and the rest of the gang on the bench crew check in, and they're probably going to do great as well. Luke Cornett looks great in those backup center minutes while Kristaps is nursing that injury. On to the New York Knicks. There was a lot of errors this game, and early on you could tell we were in for a long one. Just clunky would be the word I would describe their offensive sets with. Slow is another word I would bring out. We kind of heard Shaq harping on it, but Shaq is a professional hater at halftime. But at this point, he had some, he had some nice things, or not nice things, but smart things to say about Karl Anthony Towns and the rest of the front court for the New York Knicks. They needed to get into things quicker, especially when you have Jrue Holiday face up and you have Al Horford in the roaming and in the help spot. Yes, it's obviously going to be hard to get actions past not only Jrue but Al, but you need to get physical with them. You need to show them that it's going to be an every possession thing. We saw OG and Cat get tangled up early for rebounds. Cat calls it out. OG still goes for it. You can see that there's just still going to be growing pains. I want to stress this. I cannot stress this enough. What we saw from New York tonight is obviously not going to be what we saw from, or what we will see from New York in a couple months. However, that's not to say that this isn't at all concerning. When Miles McBride is leading your team in points off the bench through 3 quarters, it's just rough. You bring in Mikal Bridges. He's supposed to be that guy who goes out and he does everything great, and then Karl Anthony Towns is supposed to be this 20-10 center guy, and it's just rough right now. OG Anunoby looks virtually lost in the offense. I'm hoping we can see that change. Josh Hart's looking way more productive than OG, and you just extended OG to a massive contract following this postseason. I did like the little bit of minutes I saw from Campaign off the bench. I think he is just always going to be electric. I'm not really sure why Philadelphia didn't try to reacquire him, my apologies, but I think he will be successful here in New York. I don't want to sit here and make the back half of this video me completely crapping on New York, so I'm just not going to do that, because again, I think there are going to be better games down the road. If I had to give the Knicks a grade tonight, it would be a D-. If I had to give the Boston Celtics a grade tonight, it would be an A+, A-, probably more towards an A+. I mean, they literally could not miss. Moving on to the 10:30 game tonight, we have the Los Angeles Lakers taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves in their home court in Crypto Arena, I believe it's called now. We're going to talk about the Lakers first since they won. An interesting note to make is this is the first game in years where I have not seen the Lakers look like the ones who want to whine and cry and mope about calls. Austin Reeves was very expressive on one quote-unquote missed call, and then JJ was very expressive towards a referee to another missed call. However, when you see your coach being that expressive, it kind of creates this illusion, and it could be real, a manifestation that JJ Redick actually cares for the players. He actually cares for them. He's willing to fight and yell and get thrown out of the game for them. Great coaches like Pop, Mike Malone, we see them show a lot of emotion when it comes to their players. An important note I want to make before we start getting into like the bigger, more important stats like Anthony Davis dominating this game is that Austin Reeves earns his playing time away from the ball. His dominance on the offensive glass tonight was hilarious. That should not be a sentence I say out loud, but the fact that this dude at halftime had 4 offensive rebounds is just otherworldly. Anthony Davis, 36 points, 16 rebounds. I'm making this video with like 2 minutes left because it is over, so we could have more stats than that by the time I'm watching this off. Rui Hachimura had nearly 20 points, 5 rebounds, a lot of big time threes in this one. Jackson Hayes was a monster on defense off the bench, and it is just such a very, very talented lob threat. His vertical leap is absolutely ridiculous. This game had some weird stretches where the Los Angeles Lakers dominated the glass and then the Wolves would go on to dominate the glass. It was very unique. We just saw a ton of different efforts in this game, and we're shaking off a lot of the offseason rust. You could tell LeBron was not really playing at 100% tonight, which is to be expected, I guess, a little bit. It's no hate towards LeBron. He still had a phenomenal game. It's just that he was, as I said, just a lot slower to, be willing to dominate that offensive side because he's trying to give the reins to Anthony Davis, which I think is what a lot of Lakers fans have wanted. D'Lo was very missed tonight. D'Lo is the definition of a hit or miss player tonight. Just wasn't his night. I'm glad JJ stuck with the Lakers despite their, struggles. If you're a Lakers fan, this is a really good win. You shoot 5 for 28, 17% from the three-point land. And at one point, you led this game by 17 or 19, it might have been. No, yeah, it was 19 points. And then you're up double digits with 2 minutes to go in the fourth. Phenomenal win. Something we have not seen in a long time for the Los Angeles Lakers. They outpaced the team. We haven't seen that in like the last 4 years with the Lakers. The Timberwolves are very, very gritty. Very, very talented team, and it just is a great way to, start the season, to come out here, beat them on the offensive glass, record 7 blocks to their 1 when they have the 4-time Defensive Player of the Year. You charted more assists. You had 10 less turnovers than the Wolves. Guys, this was just a very gritty win, and we don't see that much with the Los Angeles Lakers. It's a big testament to JJ at the head coach, the helm of this thing. I'm excited to see what both of these teams look like in a couple months. As for the Minnesota Timberwolves, obviously we are kind of trying to see the reality of Julius Randle as a Minnesota Timberwolf. Tonight, there were some things that Julius did well. There were some things that he did bad, unwell. I didn't like how he allowed Austin Reeves to get a rebound off a free throw. Should be boxing out. This is Fundamentals 101. I'll let these superstars slide when they miss a box out here and there, but you should never let someone Austin Reeves' side collide between you and 2 other Timberwolves on a free throw attempt. And not just that, we also saw moments with Julius Randle where he was frustration fouling, which is, I'm no NBA head coach, but probably one of the most frustrating things you can do outside of the frustration fouling and the lack of boxing out. I do think that there were redeemable qualities that Julius put out there tonight. Obviously, his 3-point shot, you love to see it if you get rid of a guy like Cat who can stretch the floor so well, to get someone like Julius who can do it kind of just
assist as well. It means a lot. He's very physical. Earlier I spoke about how sometimes the Lakers were dominating the glass, and then it seemed to shift back to Minnesota. That had a lot to do with Julius Randle because he is that pitbull physical type of guy. Mike Conley was not very involved in this one. 20 minutes tonight, just we're trying to flex the new guard play we have. Obviously, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, very, very talented kid. And then now you have Dante DiVincenzo here, and you also have Rob Dillingham. You never know when he's going to get these minutes. They tried Joe Ingles for a little bit. Just a very unique little game for the Timberwolves tonight. Chris Finch had some questionable calls. I don't know if that's due to new personnel or not, but Anthony Davis recorded like 4 or 5 rebounds in less than 10 possessions, and Rudy Gobert still wasn't subbed back in. Rudy Gobert and Mike looked great in the pick and roll tonight. Anthony looked amazing in isolation and in transition, as he always does. Jaden McDaniels, quiet game, 16 minutes, 6 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist. Just when you think of this game, you don't think Jaden McDaniels. All in all, though, very entertaining opening night. I want to know your guys' opinions in the comments below. I'm so stoked to be back doing this for you guys. If you made it this far, you know I appreciate your support as always. Have a great rest of your day. Stay happy, healthy, and blessed. Peace.